Hi, guys, welcome back to Hear Our Voices. This is part three, and I hope you have been enjoying the first and second part of this. I want to say mini series, maybe. Um, we do appreciate everybody who has been on our show. We are trying to start off season two with a bang. I know we were going for a very long time, but we are back, and I say it's better than ever. So follow us on Twitter, get to us on Instagram. If you have any questions about any different things are always constantly changing. We are making waves in the pool, so things are definitely changing in those regards. So hopefully people can hear our stories and know that we need change to make people's lives better. Hopefully they can listen and do what they need to do to help our community grow and be better. So sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Bye.
And the start is 1,000 apartments, but there's over 20,000 empty apartments out there.
That's what bothers me too. It's so many open spaces with people in shelters for what? It doesn't make any sense to me. I would love to work with you too if you don't mind having me. Because people all the time on my YouTube channel, I do a lot of homeless videos too. And they're asking me, do you know where to go? One guy had messaged me, he's a realtor. And he said he works with them. I forgot his name, so I have to go look for him. But it's if you get realtors involved, all these people's I think it'll work out so good for the community. A lot of people just want to get out of the shelter. They don't want to stay there for a long time. They don't want to do these things. And it's there's so much vacancy, especially in New York City. People think no, we're overcrowded, but there's so much open spaces here that can fill people, and people are not in there. There's literally people. If you think about it in your mind, if you are a landlord and the place is vacant, that means you're still not making money. Why you don't try to get somebody in there to make yourself money? Because it's all about the bottom line for certain people anyway. But it's
well, they say that they're Shams. Listen, some of them are look, I'm in business. I'm a business, and they see before the vouchers were so low that it's nah, I'm not doing that. Now that the voucher rate is higher, right? They're yo, hold up, let me that they came to me. I didn't go to
the
them.
money is talking.
They're yo, how could I get those vouchers?
Right.
And so it's more feasible for them. So they're look, well, you're the advocate. I'm a real estate person. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear, Shams. I don't want to get burned. I need to make money. The thing is this, part of, and I don't mean this every situation is different. So I don't want anyone to take this as a universal thing. Right. But some of them do say that the cost to renovate apartment and keep a person at a low rate is it's not worth it to them, because even the maintenance fees to rent to upkeep the apartment could actually have them in the hole for the money from that apartment. Right. So, so these are kinks that we need to work out in order to be able to make it feasible, for landlords. But one point, if it costs the city or taxpayers $3,400 and better to keep me on a cot in a congregate shelter, right, with 280 people, $3,400 a month. That's more than the rent, the vouchers, all that. Right. If you put that money into the property, into the rent, into the vouchers, we could pay for this stuff. We can, you know what I mean? House me, don't warehouse me. Exactly. It's crazy. And the thing about it, to us, I don't know. To us, it seems so simple and non-complicated. It's basically common sense. But for other people, it's nah, this sounds like a good idea. Put them in a place in a gymnasium. Put them in this area, stuff them away. People won't think, no, we're gonna be making some noise because we're tired of being treated this way. We're tired of having our people being treated this way. We're gonna make some noise. Obviously, before you weren't hearing us, now we're gonna hear us. So hear our voices. That's what it is, because we're not silencing us anymore. It's ridiculous. Yes. So I applaud you for creating a platform, and being able to center the voices of people who are experience homelessness, marginalized people, and the victims of racial inequities. We need that, and then we need to also be in control of the platforms, because a lot of times people put us on their platforms, and I'm not against that,
Right.
But in some cases it become homeless porn.
Right. It's true. It's true.
And we don't benefit. It's not empowering us. And what we want to do is we want to create platforms and situations that empower us, not just showcase us.
Yeah. Like a zoo, like almost. We go there, we do this, we do that. No, what change are being had? What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
It has to, make a difference. Not just say something. It has to be changed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it is also. We have to keep people accountable for what they're saying. Because a lot of people have, especially when they're running for elections, all these things, they have all these nice words to say. It's very eloquent. It's very nice. It's very sharp. It's very Googled information, and they just gave it back to us like it's okay. No, but what are you doing now? After you won elections, or after you are doing certain things, after you are CEO of this company, and you should be helping us, or I mean, mostly nonprofits, should be helping your community. What are you doing? What are you doing to help? What are you doing to do mental health? What are you doing when it's cold outside and people need gloves? Are you just sitting there saying, I got all these money that we raised and got these grants, but the people outside, granted, some people just, they like it and they feel like it's more safer outside than it's in a shelter, which is understandable. I've never been in a single shelter, so I don't know how it is, but what I understand, it's horrible. And family shelters are horrible. Yeah. But what are you doing to make it safer? What are you doing to make it better? If they're outside, or you giving them, it's not so bad to say tents, but if they feel safer outside, they feel safer outside. I'm just saying, because in your shelter, it's crazy. People getting stabbed, people getting hurt. Outside, they feel like it's more freer, So I'm not saying I want all of New York City in a tent either, but it's just like, what can you do to make people's lives better? Yeah. You talking about, Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that, the one thing the difference between this mayor, the previous mayor, I have a seat at the table. They call me for advice. I can contact the mayor or his team and say, hey, look, I don't think this is, this is my humble suggestion, and I see it implemented. I see a change. I see the change happen. So I know that he's paying attention, that he's not trying to roof, I mean, he may say, he just says what he want to say, but I think that he's moving in the right direction. We just have to stay involved in the conversations and take advantage of the fact that he's willing to listen to us in order to help provide the guidance that would help his administration deal with the issues. And I shouldn't be the only one in the room or anything like that. We all should partake of that. So in this administration, I'm not as combative as I was with the previous administration, because the previous administration didn't give a damn about what me and you thought. The previous administration didn't pay attention or listen to, and damn sure wasn't given a seat at the table to a directly impacted person. This mayor, whether we agree with what he's doing or not, is at least doing that. So I'm starting from there and saying, let me be collaborative as opposed to combative, because I could actually sit down and talk to the mayor or people in his administration to center some of my ideas and issues and stuff. So it's a different approach at this point, because I can see us getting more done like that. And so far, like I call for a safe haven focus. The mayor switched to just generally saying shelters to we got to focus on safe havens. I'm saying we need to get people into single room hotels. No type of congregate shelter is going to be good, whether big or small. And we're now trying to access hotels. There's things with zoning and all that, but we're shifting the conversation in order to be able to get the things that we all want to see as people experiencing homelessness, people who have experienced homelessness, and advocates that are trying to do good by homeless New Yorkers. So it's a lot, but it's like we're dealing with a different type of administration. So it's not gloom and doom for me. It's bad because the problem's not going to go away overnight. But it's good that we at least are able to sit down and get some of the things done that we need done that in the previous administration it was just not happening.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm waiting on you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had more because he's going to roll. So I was like, I don't know. But So what do you think we can do to, like, example, see, I'm already doing it now for the past, like, I'm gonna say 1.5 years. A person who's new, or even myself, how we get involved? How do we get the seat at the table to make a difference? Because that's the thing I think with a lot of things like this is that we don't know where to start. We really don't know where to start. We don't know where to look, where to call, what to do to really make a difference. Yes, I can make Twitter posts. Yeah, the only reason I'm even in this business right now, I made a YouTube video. And then they found me through my YouTube video, and I was in a project with that, and then I started working with Family Homeless Coalition, you know? And that's one way to get into it. But not everybody who looks at YouTube video is going to get called, though. You know, everybody have their time and their moment. But if you want to start and then you want to put your foot in the door or your little pinky toe in the door to see how it feels, what can we do to get into the space to be able to help and make a difference?
Well, you know, like you said, there's a bunch of ways we could approach all of this stuff. Me personally, what I did was I started from where I was at, and I looked at what's going on, and then I addressed it accordingly. So in the same way, like people can start with, I'm gonna just give you the simple stuff, and then we can scale from simply not walking past a person experiencing homelessness. If you got a family member that's experiencing homelessness, to be able to say, hey, you know, let me call them up, or let me go check on them and see if there's something I can do to help them. You know, if you see somebody in the streets, you know, just greeting them, just saying, hey, how you doing? I hope everything's okay. You know, whatever, smile, you know, just acknowledge them with a smile. You know, that's the simple thing that we all can do. There's things like you have people that are, you know, like I advise kids. I said, kids are always saying, what can I do? What can I do? I say, well, a safe thing that you can do is you could partner with, say, a church or your school to do care packages and give them out. Find out the shelters in your community and then provide care packages to those residents, those neighbors in your community who are living in shelters, you know. And then also petition your elected officials, local, you know, citywide, state, and federal. You have to know who these people are because they legislate a lot of the policies that we have to live under. Start to know them and start to tell them, like, hey, this is what we, you know, we want to be part of these conversations. Instead of having shelters in my community, produce housing in my community. You know, instead of making it unaffordable for me to live here and I'm always on the brink of homelessness, why don't you create opportunities for me to be able to lift myself out of poverty without losing my home? You know, so those are things that we have to do, and it requires work. But the reality is, anyone can become homeless, just like that. And it may not be us today, but it could be us tomorrow.
That's definitely true.
So it's like, you know, we take to so many different things, but when it comes to real stuff, we're not paying attention. And my thing is, you know what? Let's start to pay attention to the real things that's going on around us, so we can try and help people and do some good things.
Got it. Do you have any last words for the people who are listening today?
Well, I just say, you know, the goal is housing over shelters. The goal is to really, you know, use our voices to help those that are less fortunate or in unfortunate situations. Not that they're less fortunate in so many other ways, but let's start to think for the humanity of other people. And it doesn't matter, it could be in your own household. You know, let's change our way of looking at things and be proactive instead of reactive. Let's look for the positive. And if it's something negative, let's turn the negative into a positive. And that's what I would hope the example of my life is about, because, you know, I'm the guy that was on the park bench. I'm the guy that was in the shelters. You know, I know those experiences, but I'm also the guy that, you know, that did everything I can to make sure that my son never experienced sleeping on the streets. Right. And so, you know, I'm still active because I really care. And at the end of the day, I would just ask that people just have that care and that compassion for, for others, and we could live a lot more comfortably among each other if that was the way that we engaged one another.
Got it. So where can the people find if they want to, talk to you or, pick your mind about different things to see how they can really help with new projects and things like that?
Well, I have some things coming that will be rolled out in the coming weeks or months. But for now, I always suggest that people connect with me online. So on Twitter, you can reach me at homeless_hero. And on Instagram and Facebook, you can reach me at the homeless hero. And that's DA homeless hero. And just connect with me there. I speak to everybody. So, don't hesitate to connect with me and just share your ideas, whatever. As long as it's positive, not negative, right. I don't mind engaging. But once it gets negative,
it's a problem.
Block, delete.
The block finger is real strong.
It's real strong, but I'm always for positive engagement. And I don't know everything. I learned from listening, and there's so many different voices out there that I appreciate, and so many people that I learn from. So as much as I talk, I listen just as much, and that's the real deal. So everybody can connect with me there and just pay attention, because I got a lot of stuff that's going to help us in a lot of ways. And I got a lot of friends that are engaged as well that are gonna be there. And for anyone who's directly impacted and you looking to get actively involved, I always suggest that they check out Vocal New York. Vocal New York has directly impacted leaders who basically determine the agenda of the organization in addressing the issues of housing and homelessness. And their educational process is great, and the support is great for that people with lived experience. So, if you're looking for an organization, then that's one of the organizations. And there are other resources out there like Urban Justice Center, the Coalition for the Homeless. In communities, I work with everybody, but you also have Open Hearts Initiative. I mean, there are a lot of organizations that are out here doing great for us. And I would always suggest that people support these organizations as well.
Got it. Definitely. He's always on Twitter. I'm watching him. I've been watching him for a while, but he never knew. Before I even became following him, I was watching him from like last year. I cyber stalk a lot of people. People might not know because it doesn't tell you when they're getting stalked. But I definitely was looking at him and his work. I think I want to say when you got an award, I want to say last year. I don't know. Since the pandemic, the years have definitely melted together in my brain. I was so good at keeping years and dates together, but being home for a year and a half definitely messed up my brain, and probably many of your brains also. But so I've been watching for a while. And if you're a guy, if anybody who's listening actually, who's part of the organization and definitely want to be on the podcast and put your 2 cents or 3 cents on the podcast, and you're helping out the homeless population and want to share your voice on this podcast, definitely DM us on Instagram. Get to my Instagram page, KJ Davis. Hear our voices basically across the board. Twitter is HOV. I want to say HOV here. Everything will be in the description. I'm sorry. Because the names are different, I do forget them. My personal ones I remember because it's mine. But for the podcast, I do have a team also who works with me. They're so amazing, guys. They work behind the scenes. I know I'm the voice of Hair Voices, but I do have a team who helps us, and they're amazing. So yes, so this is what we're going to be going on right now. We should be dropping every Wednesday, as you might know. Wednesday usually at 12 a.m. right as the time goes into the next day. And if you want to have any updates with up to date most things on Twitter, if your organization is having an event coming up, we also, if you want to give us a private message on Twitter, say, can you retweet this if I might not see it? Because so far, I think it's 2 or 3 of us on the Twitter account. We might not all get everything. So if you do want us to tweet something out or, retweet, I forgot what it's called, but retweet something out for you, we can definitely do that, as long as helping and uplifting the homeless population, because we all need help. We all need direction, and we are people who need to be seen as people, not seen as other, So definitely thank you for helping whoever's out there listening.
Guys, we have come to the end of this mini series that we had. Thank you for sitting and enjoying this train ride of interesting information that we came out with. I thank so much to Sham that he shared his life story and his life journey that he has come through thus far. I really appreciate everything that he has done so far on these episodes and the stuff that he has done so far in our community. We definitely need more voices, and that's why we do podcasts like this, to get the stories out there so people can understand we're just not nameless people. We have names, we have feelings, we have faces, and we are going to make a difference. You don't always have to stay in your situations and be down all the time. Thank you for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.